Andre always talked about you being a when player, like when you'll arrive in the NHL and make an impact. How do you feel like you handled that when they gave you the opportunity to do that again this year?
Yeah, I think there's another long kind of process this year, but given the opportunity, I think it's another kind of growing experience where they've allowed me to kind of come into who I am, and I think it's just the faith that they've had that in me the whole time has allowed me to kind of take these next strides, and the belief in that when kind of process rather than an if process. So I think you got to credit them for having that and having the idea that I was at some point gonna break through.
What have been the biggest developments in your game that you think helped you be a consistent player for this team?
Yeah, I think being able to find a click with Boehner and Krauser allowed me to kind of find myself at the end of the year, and being someone who can disrupt plays in the forecheck and be someone that can stick my nose in, but also have confidence with the puck and make plays throughout the neutral zone is something I want to continue to work on, but something that's kind of allowed me to have success.
What's the next step you feel like you have to take to further entrench yourself in the future of this franchise?
Yeah, I think finding a way to put the puck in the net. I think I've put it around there a good amount the last couple games, and it just didn't go in. So finding that touch on the net, and that's just something that over time I think you can get, and at all levels I've been able to kind of find that. So just kind of leaning back on that and falling back onto that patience I had in the AHL and in college and junior where I was able to do that. And it's just at this level it's a little bit more difficult. You put a little bit more pressure on yourself. So I think that, and then along with staying with what I've had success doing and creating turnovers and allowing my teammates to play with the puck and get the puck back for myself and for them.
How unique was this transition for you being an Arizona guy coming to Utah, and how much have you enjoyed your time here?
Yeah, I've loved it so far here. It's become a second home to me. I think that's something I talk to my whole family about is the process of leaving where you are and going to a new city and that city becoming somewhere that you really grow fond of. So I think it's been great this year. Obviously right now with the weather starting to get nice again outside of today where it's downpouring, but it's been great, and I think it's still, to me, I got Arizona's home in the summertime, but throughout the winter time it's nice to come here, and it's been great for me and all the other guys, and we've really loved it.
You feel like you have a chance to blaze your own trail here the way your dad did in Arizona?
Yeah, I think it's obviously when you're in Arizona, the family name comes up a lot with who he was and who he is, and that's something that as a kid growing up with, it wasn't too much just because of the way he handled it and the way he kind of raised us, but it is nice to start your own thing and be a part of something new and kind of, like you said, be able to kind of trailblaze your own career in a way. And I think our careers up to this point were completely different with our route to get to pro, but when it all tied back together in Arizona, I think you could kind of see it coming into being a similarity, and it is nice to kind of start your own thing.
So, I mean, what you just said, the family name. Here in Utah, you are the family name. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a cool thing to hear that and be talked about in that way rather than be kind of Shane's son, which is what a lot of us have been in my family for a while, which there's nothing wrong with that. We enjoy being talked about in the same conversation as him, but to kind of start your own thing has been super cool.
What do you like about Andre as a coach?
Yeah, he's been awesome for me in my development. I think the confidence that he has in us and the young guys, and he's pretty strict and stern with us, but at the same time allows us to be who we are and play our own styles inside of the system. And I think that's allowed a lot of the guys to grow. And you see obviously with Dylan and Logan the steps that they took this year and the steps that they've taken under him and a lot of other guys with the way they produced this year. So he's someone that's allowed a lot of the young guys to mature in their own way and kind of find their own niche. And I think it allowed us to have a lot of differences in our games, but all under one kind of goal.
What's he like away from the rink?
Yeah, I think away from the rink and to the rink, he can be mad at you at the rink and maybe you make a mistake on the ice or you're not playing well, but that has no impact on how he treats you away from the rink as a person, which I think is something that's hard to do sometimes as a coach, and he's found that fine line where you can still have a conversation with him in the mail room if things aren't going your way or you guys are struggling in a way. But when game time comes, he's back to serious business, and that's a hard balance to find, but he's done a really good job of it.